where brevity is paramount.
Hello and welcome to episode 16 of Chet and John's Reassuringly Finite Gaming Playlist. My name is Chet Roivers, with me is John Denton.
Hello.
Basically, over the next 40 minutes or so, John and I are going to go through two different top 10 lists, the 10 games we've been playing over the past week. We're going to work our way from 10 to 1. Two number ones are going to be the games we've been playing the most, and yeah, we're going to try and do it 40 minutes or under if we can. John, number 10.
Hi, my number 10 is a game called Cheese Please. It's an iPhone game, unsurprisingly.
Surprise, yeah.
You play as a mouse. It's a little puzzle game where basically you can move your mouse one tile at a time. It's on tiles. And as you move, the obstacles on these tiles also move. So there's like spike traps that rotate by 90 degrees. So you can kind of see how it works. You have to move in time to be able to negotiate the tiles to get to the bit of cheese at the end without getting smashed up by the spikes. It's all right. It wouldn't exactly recommend it, but it doesn't really do anything wrong. It sets out what it wants to do and does it perfectly well. You need to have one of those brains that can kind of see about 3 or 4 moves ahead. And have spatial awareness, so unsurprisingly I wasn't very good at it. But yeah, Cheese Please. It doesn't quite live up to that title.
69p?
Yeah.
Free trial?
Always. I don't know. I didn't check this time.
Okay.
I think there might be, actually. Free cheese.
Okay. I do just want to have a look. I do like the title that's already won me over, so I might have a look. Okay, my number 10 is Scarface on the iPhone.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
It's becoming a problem.
I'm not going to talk about it too much. I have to see what happens at the end. I know I'm going to probably snap my phone in half when I find out what happens at the end, but it's getting to the point now
Just
where...
chuck your phone in a swimming pool and be done with it.
Well, it might come to that, but for the moment, it seems like it's progressing through the story. I'm going to stick with it. It's getting to the point now where they're like, in order to progress, fulfill every objective in this area. So you just tap, and then you're done with that area. If I do all that in all 5 areas, or however many it is, and then it tries to get me to do that again, then the phone's going in the swimming pool. But for the moment, I'm going to see how it goes. Just because forget it. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's like I should be... It's shameful, the fact that I'm playing it. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I don't have anything more to add to that. You really are.
Yeah, thanks.
So my number 9 is a game called Sakura Slash. I've been playing the big guns this week. Also on the iPhone. This is a freebie. It's one of those endless games that are all over the App Store. And basically you play as someone who has a sword, but it's more like a light gun game. Stuff flashes up on a screen. You have to kind of slash it with your finger as if you're cutting it in half. But everything's an eyeball. I don't really know why. And they come up in like little patterns, and then one eyeball will creep towards the edge of the screen. And so if it gets to the edge of the screen, you lose health. So you've got to slash that one first. You can only take about 2 hits before you die. It's one of those games that you'll play it for 10-15 minutes and be reasonably entertained, and then never need to play it again. But it's free, so yeah, it's just a weird one. I mean, there's so many billions of games on the App Store now. It's hard to know what really is worth playing, but yeah, that exists.
Yeah, it's really weird. For some reason, the way you described it, it sounds like really fucking stressful.
It is quite stressful, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those games always are quite stressful, those endless games, because you know it's just only a matter of time before you get fucked, and this one fucks you earlier than most. But
is there online leaderboards or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Maybe. It seems like it's been knocked up in a day.
Okay.
But not to its detriment. It's fine. But what I don't know. I don't really know why it exists.
Okay. That comment applies to half of what's on the App Store.
Yeah, if not 95%.
Yeah. Okay, my number 9 is Joyride Turbo on the Xbox 360.
Oh, right.
I've only played the trial, and I read the Eurogamer review yesterday, and it made it sound like the other campaign stuff is actually really, really interesting. And I didn't get to sample that. I just had a couple of races.
Right.
And it's fine. It's not Mario Kart. It's not Mod Nation races, but it's reasonably enjoyable. The controls are fine. But its existence is really quite offensive because all they needed to do was patch the Kinect original. They never allowed controller support for that. You were forced to sit in that stress position holding your hands out for fucking hours at a time. And the controls didn't even work. So rather than sort of, as a thank you for the fucking dumb idiots that forked out £40 for that game, give them controller support so they could actually get some gameplay out of it, they've released this. And I did the first 2 tracks. It's the same tracks.
Really?
They've just put, probably not all of that game, but the same content and added controller support. And there's something incredibly offensive about that, and I'd be so pissed off. I mean, they could have just added controller support to the fucking Kinect version. I don't know why they didn't.
For that very reason. Surely.
What very reason?
To get some more dollar.
Oh well, yeah, that's why it left a nasty taste. I mean, it's fine. It's a kart racing game. If you were fortunate enough not to play the Kinect version, it's a pretty solid game. And from what I've heard about the campaign, there's actually some really interesting stuff going on there. So yeah,
the stunt mode stuff.
Yeah,
sounded more interesting, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they made a little bit of an effort, but still, the fact that someone could have bought that and not used it with a pad when they realised Kinect didn't work, bollocks.
Yeah, bollocks indeed. So my number 8, is that 8?
That was my 9.
All right, my number 8 is Scramble with Friends. I got it, as you know, I've been playing you.
Yeah.
I'll only talk about it this week because, as you said before, there's not a massive amount to say. But yeah, it's really, really good fun and really addictive, dangerously addictive. And Zynga knows this, so you eat up all your tokens and then you can buy a shitload more for real money because you have to pay a token to play each round and then pay another one to get your second power up. I'm not as good as you at it, which is very frustrating, but I'm going to keep training my eyes to see stupid words.
It does.
One day I'll defeat you.
You do. At first, I was terrible, and you just get better. You just learn to understand it more. I mean, it's just incredibly straightforward. But yeah, it's now that I haven't lost a game in bloody ages now. But yeah, really good.
I'll get you.
All right. I look forward to that. But yeah, it's not like, I mean, I play it every week, but I don't want to talk about it because
that'll be the one and only time.
But yeah,
apart from when I beat you, I'll probably bring it up then.
Okay. All right. Well, people, if you're thinking about it, get it. Scramble with Friends. It's good.
Yeah, I'm Guacamole Kid. Play me.
I am. No, I can't remember. I'm just like a load of gibberish.
Yeah.
My number 8 is Steel Battalion Heavy Armour on the 360. I've only done the demo. Yeah, it's pretty encouraging.
It's complicated, isn't it?
It is really, really complicated, but I'm simultaneously worried and disappointed that they've kind of there's certain scenarios you can only do certain gestures in certain scenarios, but when you're in the cockpit, there's a lot to take in. It's hard already. Even the demo's hard.
Yeah, it's fucking hard.
I was really impressed with it, and the Kinect was like 90% accurate, so I was quite impressed. But I can imagine, can you imagine getting really far in the game and doing something really difficult and something doesn't work with the Kinect?
That's the worry, isn't it?
Exactly. Will they be able to combat that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. When I played it a few weeks ago, I was getting, exactly like you, 90% accuracy, but the game is bastard hard. It wasn't the Kinect that was letting me down when I was dying. It was just the game is so hard. But I can imagine later on, if you want to pull this button or, press that lever, or even the right way around of saying that, and it fucks up, man, some Kinect's going in a swimming pool.
Yeah, no doubt. I like the way how freaked out your crew get when you start taking loads of damage and they start to spaz out. Although I was annoyed. I remember you said that you slapped someone.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Yeah, but only when it allows you to do it.
Yeah.
Because that's why. I assume you did the intro bit when you walk up and you meet your friends.
Yes.
I like the fact that your character's name's Winfield Powers. What a dumbass name. But no, there's that bit in the cutscene when you walk up, you shake hands with that guy, and then there's a guy pissing.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, I've pissed on my hands," and then he throws you an apple, and you eat it. And it's like, even if he was kidding about pissing on his hands, he still used his dick hand to throw an apple to me, and I just ate it. And I just like, what?
Mate, that's Connect.
But I was like, I'm supposed to be some sort of badass, and I'm just like, oh yeah, throw me your piss apple and I'll eat it. It's like, what the hell's going on? There's no way you'd eat an apple that a guy who's just having a piss threw at you. That's why I kept swiping in front of the screen trying to fucking slap him, and it wouldn't let me do it. But yeah, I thought that was a weird opening. I don't know whether that's something that's lost in translation.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, I was really just like, what? I've pissed all over my hands. Here's an apple. Fuck off. I really wanted to slap that guy. If the game doesn't end with you pissing on his corpse, I'm going to be humongously disappointed. But yeah, I'm encouraged, but a little bit sceptical. But I look forward to playing the full thing very soon.
I don't think I'll ever live up to that apple moment.
Yeah, true.
So my number 7 is Max Payne 3 multiplayer.
My 7 as well.
Oh, okay, nice. I played it after playing a game that's a bit later in my list, the Battlefield 3, and it was so slow compared to Battlefield 3 that it was kind of really hard to adjust to. And I hadn't played it for a couple of weeks, and everybody's got a lot better, as you'd expect them to. But yeah, I really struggled. So I still haven't worked out whether I want to play it on softlock or free aim. Free aim's definitely like the purer way to play, but it's also very hard. And you know, I'll be the first to admit I'm not massively accurate at shooting games online. That is where I struggle. I don't know what it is. My thumbs just, they let me down every time. So, yeah, it was a frustrating session, but encouraging enough to make me know that I want to do some more and sort out my loadouts and level up a little bit. So, yeah.
What was the matchmaking like? Are you getting put against people that are amazing?
No, they weren't amazing, like, you know, those type of people that you come up against on Call of Duty and they played it 1,000 hours. They were just better than me, but, you know, I was tired and I'd just come from another game, which is a completely different flow. So, excuse me. Yes, I need to go and just play Max on its own, really, and not come off another game and get stuck back into it again.
Yeah, I mean, when I played it on the launch weekend, I was playing against people who clearly played a fuckload of Grand Theft Auto and a fuckload of Red Dead Redemption. So I was just getting the shit beaten out. I mean, I was going to wait for a bit before they sort of, you know, the rank
leveled up and disappeared. Yeah.
Petered out. Yeah. I haven't actually played more. I'm playing New York Minute at the moment, which is just fantastic.
I haven't tried that yet.
Oh, it's right up my street.
Yeah.
That I mean, once you've done the story, and I'll probably do it again on the harder settings. New York Minute is just great, and it's playing it. I'm just like, man, I've got a couple of friends who started it, played it for a few hours, and just decided that they didn't like it. And I'm like, it's a game you really have to allow it to sink in.
Yes.
Because I played some Ghost Recon as well, and then I put this on after it, and I was like, fuck. I mean, for one, just the level of polish and how amazing it feels and looks, but what you need to learn to appreciate it for what it is. And so many people have gone into it expecting the wrong thing. And I haven't played more Gang Wars yet because I really want to get my head around whether they fucked up the spawn
Yeah,
points.
I didn't play Gang Wars in this session either, but
What are we doing? Just death matches?
no, we were doing some Painkiller.
Oh, that's
yeah, Painkiller. It's a great mode, but I was struggling every time that I became Max or Passos. I just got killed instantly, and it was doing my head in. But I think, yeah, it's my fault, not the game's.
Yeah,
as it so often is.
Yeah, Painkiller is great. I'm going to play some more multiplayer in the week, I think. But yeah, that was my number 7 as well.
Oh, cool. So my number 6 is Summer Challenge Athletics Tournament. I think that's what it's called. God, it's fucking crap. This game is the same game as a game that came out last year with, I think, the same name and a different bit of art. And it's basically the same game as another athletics game that's coming out at the moment called Summer Stars, which has Kinect support. This one doesn't. And they seem to be the same events, but shot from different camera angles and with slightly different graphics. But this one's especially bad. It doesn't even have countries in it. It has teams, these fucking teams like the Buccaneers and the Wild Hogs. And I don't know why they exist. And it's so easy. 100 metres. First time I ever played it, as you do in any athletics game, probably the same as just to get settled in. Broke the world record, first go. Second thing I did, high jump. Broke the world record, first go. During that time, didn't even know how to play it. I was trying to work out the buttons, and I broke the world record trying to work out the buttons. Crap. Don't get it. Leave it alone.
We spoke about this earlier in the week because I remember that I got sent a game to review, and it was from the same publisher. And when I opened it, either the inlay said it was a different game, or the disc said it was a different game, or when I put the disc in, the menu had a different title. And it's
There's something weird going on with all these athletics games. They're from the same developer and the same publisher. If you open the box on this one, the cover is different to the front cover of the manual, and the front cover of the manual is from last year's game. So I assume they've just
They've just got a load of CDRs in a warehouse and they just stick a different label on everything.
Yeah, but the thing is, I can imagine it's a budget game, which is still 30 quid RRP, which is quite expensive. But it seems like the type of game that should be up front and central in Wilco's or a petrol station when people are pissed up. Not that you should be pissed up at a petrol station, but you grab it with your beers with an evening with the boys and play it. If you're a stupid person, I mean, not a real person.
No, that's the point though. Why don't they have stuff like that? Because the amount of times we've been at an off license and there's been like fucking Dolph Lundgren movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, give us that.
That's exactly what this is, but it shouldn't be. It should be a £5 or 8 quid or something, not 30 notes.
Yeah, it's something dodgy about that because I just feel bad for like parents who don't know what they're buying and they buy fucking claptrap like that.
Yeah. There hasn't been a truly great athletics game in a long time, I don't think, but there's been some decent ones and a lot better than this. You shouldn't be breaking world records on your first go when you're trying to work out the buttons.
Yeah, true. Okay, right, my number 6 is Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars on the iPhone.
Oh God, I've not played that for fucking years.
Yeah, there's some sort of promotion. I don't know if it's still going, but Grand Theft Auto 3 and Chinatown Wars were both 69p. They might still be on there for that price, I'm not sure. And I just thought, fuck it, I bought them both. I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 3. I'm interested because some people said the controls were really good. Others said they were terrible. But Chinatown Wars, with the exception of probably Vice City, was my favourite Grand Theft Auto game. When it came out on the DS, I was just like completely blown away. And I remember feeling terrible when like all those sales figures came back and no one bought it. I'm sure it's made its money back now on PSP and iPhone and whatnot, but it's fucking great. It's perfect for a handheld device. The combat's finicky on the phone, and I'm not looking forward to having 3 stars and trying to outrun the police because it's not, the game's not been changed at all. So when it gets really difficult, it could become frustrating. But yeah, I still think that's a fantastic little game, that Chinatown.
Yeah, I played it on a DS when it came out, and I loved it.
Yeah,
as did almost everybody. It was universally praised. But it just DS gamers didn't seem to want a GTA.
It's a real shame. They really made it work brilliantly. It was so perfect. I mean, they put a GTA game on the DS, and it was a DS game, but also a Grand Theft Auto game.
Yes.
Fucking blown away. And I'm probably gonna play through it a bit more. I won't finish it again, but I just wanted to see 69p to have a look at how it works, and it works pretty well.
Yeah, and 69p for GTA 3 is worth it. It's almost as a museum piece.
Yeah,
I put it on every now and again. I think I said this before, just to drive around the city and go, wow, I cannot believe how far we've come as as an industry, that this is now in my pocket, when it was groundbreaking just 10 years ago, whenever, when I was at uni. So for less than the price of a Caramac, that's my line. Yeah.
Have you because it works on the mirroring, you can mirror it to Apple TV, can't you, and play it on the TV?
Oh, can you? I haven't even tried to do that.
I don't know how that's going to work because you have to be looking at the controls. But I might have a go and see what that looks like when I have a go with 3.
Oh yeah, I might check that out as well.
Yeah, but if it's still 69p, Chinatown Wars, fucking get it.
Yeah, I probably will. I do fancy playing that again. It's so much fun on DS, and it has been a few years.
Really.
So what's this, number 5 for me? I'm losing track of the numbers today. Yes. Apologies. Battlefield 3. I finally did it. As you know, we played together, and with the awesome David Turner from Joypod, and it was a good sesh.
It was.
Most of the time, wasn't it?
It was.
First off, getting into a good server, I didn't realise the extent of what has happened with this server bollocks, that now all the servers pretty much are fan rented. If you jump in a quick match, you just go into someone's server, and they have the power to boot you for no reason and to change the rules. So a lot of the games we were playing, the attacking team had like 3 or even 4 times as many spawn tickets as they do in the normal game. It was just fucking pointless. But when we finally found that good server that was playing by normal rules, by cool admins, it was like the hippie server.
Yeah.
We had about good couple of hours worth of wicked games, and I really enjoyed it until we ended up against a team of scumbags. But that's going to happen. They weren't scumbags; they were just really good at Battlefield. But yeah, before that, it was nice to be back, and I will be playing again.
Yeah, it's still. I mean, I had a blast until it did go to shit. But then Battlefield sessions always do. You have a run of a couple of hours, and then it just all goes to hell because a team of 8.
We played over 4 straight hours. So eventually you lose your focus and sharpness in a game that intense. So yeah.
True that. I'll mention it again in a minute. But yeah, you can't beat a bit of batters.
Yes, yeah, bloody good fun. Looking forward to DLC. But yeah, God knows when I'll get time to play it again. But good fun. Damn good fun.
Indeed. Okay, my number 5 is FIFA 13.
Ooh, all right.
Have you played it yet?
I haven't played it. No, I've seen it. I've not played it.
Okay, no, I've had about 3 matches, and we were at the presentation at EA the other day. I do like David Rutter. I can't remember if he presented last year, but
yeah, he's done it for the last 4 years, I think.
Oh, my memory's so shit, I can't remember. But he seems like a bit of a wild card, because the FIFA 13 presentation consisted basically of him showing a bit of footage, saying not in so many words, "Look how crap that is," and then showing. So that's FIFA 12 footage. And then showing FIFA 13. So he'd show something, point out that it's broken in this year's game. And I just thought, I mean, that's awesome for us to see how they're sort of fixing stuff.
Yeah.
But EA have every intention of selling FIFA 12 until FIFA 13 comes out and beyond. So I always picture someone in the background, like, tearing their hair out, like, what's he fucking saying? But yeah, I'm bloody impressed. I'm just... they're really... I mean, you've seen it, but you haven't played it, right?
That's right. So I know it's all about more incremental updates, isn't it, this year, and fixing small things which will lead to bigger changes when you actually play.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much. I mean, there's not so much, but how it works is kind of difficult to describe. I mean, it's all about one-touch control. So, you know, in the old FIFAs, a ball comes towards you, you'd all receive it the same way, and even a shitty player would sort of leap up and sort of get it on his foot and then sort of maintain control. And here that doesn't happen. It takes a million things into account, you know, where the ball's coming from, you know, all these different factors. And it's, that's one thing. They're doing tactical free kicks, which I didn't get a chance to experiment with. So there's all different things you can do when you're taking free kicks. You can sort of change the number of people that you've got in the wall, how often they jump. You can sort of do dummy shots and stuff like that. I didn't get a chance to do that. And then they've taken complete dribbling from FIFA Street.
Yes.
I didn't experiment with it. They showed us one thing, where some footage of Ronaldo, like, pensively stepping towards the defender and then sort of bolting around him.
Yeah.
Hold both triggers, let go of one. That works that works a treat.
Yeah, I had my suspicions when I was playing FIFA Street that element might end up in Big FIFA, and that's basically exactly what's happened.
Oh, I'm glad that suits me down to the ground. I love that about FIFA.
That element to put your foot on the ball, move it around. I mean, that's what happens in real football. Dribbling is about stopping and starting, you know, moving at different speeds rather than, you know, doing a million step overs and spin moves and things like that. And it seems that they've really tried to capture that this year.
Yeah, indeed. You can also maintain your position. So if you're trying to shield a defender off, you can keep your back to him when you've got the ball, or you can constantly face towards. You can make sure that you're always facing towards goal, so you don't randomly step in a direction that you don't want to move in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's faster than FIFA 12. I was just like, fuck, this feels good. I mean, it's just so encouraging seeing, you know, when they present it, you're like, these people love what they do, and they're really grafting to make sure they deliver a really, really great game.
They're so passionate. Like, you can tell what you want about EA as a business and all that sort of thing, but when you speak and deal with the FIFA team, like, there's all heart there. They are trying to make the best game that they can. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, no, I was massively impressed. There's like you hold B and you can sort of pull at people's shirts. So if like someone's executed the perfect first touch pass, you can fucking basically make them fuck it up by pulling at them. I mean, that was a little bit unbalanced when I played it, but they're still working on it. They said, you know, it's an early build. Obviously, it's an early build, but things like that aren't quite balanced enough. It seemed like if anyone pulled on someone's shirt, the person receiving the ball, no matter who the player was, would lose possession. But that'll get ironed out, of course.
Yeah. And
it was just, I was really, really, really impressed. And it just I kept remembering. I can't remember whether it was Pro Evo 5 or 6. It was, and the jump from the previous game to that one, and I was in a rage when that came out, whenever that was, a decade ago, and I was so furious because they changed fucking nothing, absolutely nothing. I'm just like so glad we don't live in those days anymore. You can just they're really, really grafting to make it good, and already so grateful to see it this early, but already it's shaping up fucking great.
Yeah, I've got no doubt that this one, because I've spoken about 12 before, and eventually that game did annoy me, whereas I could see the foundations of the changes that they made, but I knew it was going to be 13 that I was going to like, because I knew the stuff that they changed, they needed to work on to get it to a level where I was going to enjoy it again. But from what I've seen, 13, they've done exactly that. They've basically fixed every problem that I had with 12.
Yeah,
so
I mean, tactical defending is no longer, if it's not an appropriate time to make a tackle, you don't just fucking blindly shove your leg out, and you'll sort of aggress them in a different way, which was really nice. I can't wait to play more, really.
Yeah, same. So on a completely different tip to FIFA and the vast amount of money that game turns over and is involved in, my number 4 is Mad Riders from Techland.
Oh, yeah.
I talked about it last week. The embargo's dropped now, so I can praise it a bit more. For 800 points, this is top quality, stupid, quad biking nonsense from people that they don't play by anyone else's rules. They have their own engine, they do their own thing, and they make games that aren't going to put them out of business, which I think is kind of admirable in this day and age. You know, they're making stuff but they're not charging the earth for it either. You know, I mean, all these games, you hear about all these stories at the moment with the Kingdoms of Amalur stuff, with them all that sort of crap. Everybody's heard about that. This is a team that knows its limitations and doesn't try and pretend like it's anything that it's not. Even with Dead Island, you had that trailer, but ultimately the game was pretty much what they said it was going to be, and was bloody good for it. And you can forgive its mistakes and its missteps because there's a kind of charm to Techland stuff. And Mad Riders is the same. It's 800 points. They say it's less than the price of a pizza. It is. And you get a fuckload of content. There's like 45 tracks or something, all of which have got huge, like massive jumps and huge undulations, and it's really, really fast. The racing against the AI is really furious, so you're on the edge of your seat until the end of each track. It's not as good as MotorStorm or something like that, but I like it a lot. I think it's a good game. I hope it does well.
Have you played it online?
Yes, it works fine. There's even a thing that when you're playing single player and there's online games happening, you can just jump in by pressing left on the D-pad, and it will automatically zoom you straight into an online game. So it's kind of the two are integrated really well, which for a fucking 800-point arcade game is really impressive. And I thought it was just going to be shit with a name, and the first time you play it, you're like, oh man, it's a bit ugly. But the more I played it, the more impressed I was. This is some of the tensest arcade racing I've had since the F-Zero games, which is high praise indeed.
I think I'm going to buy it because I love Nailed so much.
It's fun as fuck. As long as you know, as you do, having played Nailed, that it's not the most polished thing in the world, and occasionally it will reset you for no good reason, or you'll crash. There's little issues, but again, they know their limitations, and they concentrate on what is important, making the fucking thing fun.
Yeah.
Even in Call of Juarez, the Cartel, they tried.
Yeah, that game. I mean, fundamentally a shit game, but I couldn't hate it because they tried. They were doing things that at some point another developer with more money will do, and everyone will be fucking falling over themselves to sort of lay claim to. But fuck it, I'm going to buy it. I think.
And I say it again, in an industry where a lot of people, these are people losing their jobs, fucking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people losing their jobs because people are mismanaging the money. A team out there that seem to be completely on top of their business and doing things for the right reasons, should be praised.
Indeed. Okay, I'm going to have to make a mental note of that. Okay.
Mad Riders.
Mad Riders, yeah. Okay, my number 4 is Pixeljunk 4am on the PS3.
Oh, fuck, I knew it was something I was supposed to get. Right, I'm going to fucking get that straight after. Sorry, go on.
Did you, have you ever played a Pixeljunk game before?
I played Pixeljunk Races, I played Monsters, I've played Eden, haven't played Shooter.
I haven't played any of them. They're all completely different genres, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I've never played a Pixeljunk game before. A friend of mine sent me a video. If you have any interest in this game, or even if you don't, go on YouTube and just type in Pixeljunk 4am. It will be one of the top hits. It's an official video by the PlayStation US blog, I think, and it's one of the developers just sort of talking you through it at what looks like a press event. And it just watching it makes me smile. I watched it again the other day after playing it because I'm just like, wow, fuck, cool as hell. I'll say this about it, as you probably know from the 2 text messages I sent you the other day, every possible reaction that a person could have to this game, I've had it.
Yes.
So at one point I was like, I bet you I could get an app on my phone for free that fucking does this. to texting everyone I know with a PlayStation 3 saying you have to get it. And that's where I am now. I put it in exactly the same camp where I put Fez and Journey, which is to say that regardless of what you think at the end of it, you may hate it, you may absolutely love it. The process of sort of creating that opinion is worth the asking price. Absolutely.
The question is, for me, what is it?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I just know that it sounds interesting and it's something to do with the move and music. That's all I know about it.
Basically, it starts off, you've got a sort of visual, it looks like one of those background things where you put a CD and it goes to the music. What the fuck are they called? Visualizers?
Yeah.
Each of the 4 face buttons on the Move controller is one thing. So you've got drums, a synth, bass, and sort of rhythm sounds. You reach into the corner of each of the screen and the Move will vibrate, and then you sort of hold down the trigger, move it into the centre of the screen, then let go, and that sort of brings it in.
Right.
You can also tinker with the sort of tempo and stuff by twisting the remote and add these little sort of, you can throw in just random loops. It is hard to describe, but like I said, watch that video on YouTube, and it's. I mean, the control's not quite perfect. There are a couple of times where I've been, why the hell didn't that do what I wanted it to? But honestly, when you, I mean, you know, I've had a lot of friends that were DJs back when, you know, club culture was mainstream culture and everyone was going to nightclubs, and they said you couldn't beat dropping a record in at the right time and just sort of, you know, nailing that. And when you're tinkering with one of these tracks, and then you throw in like a drum beat, it's just. I mean, I just started dancing when I first played. I was like, "Fuck, this is." I mean, it's really such a buzzing game, mate.
Yeah, I'm getting it so much.
And there's an awesome online where people basically have little concerts, and you find. I mean, me and my girlfriend went onto this Italian guy's channel. And we just left it on, and you could see how many people were in the room watching what he was doing. And when you know how the game works, you know when someone's like the same way DJs know when a DJ's doing something special because they understand the mechanics. When you know how the game works, watching this kid, I assume it was a kid, really, really fucking around with this tune and making it. And we just left it on. Like, we had a couple of drinks after we'd been out, and just like, fucking, that's awesome. He was going for hours and hours, and he was, you know, he's like highly rated. I think if there was a rating system, I can't remember. Or he's just had hundreds of people. But for fucking £6, if you have any interest in video games as a form, you have to play it. £6.
I'm getting it straight after the show.
Mate.
Straight away. My PlayStation is even on as we speak, so I'm going straight on and getting it.
Ideally, you want it to be night, a couple of drinks, sort your rights out. It's fucking great. Love it.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Nice.
Pixeljunk 4am is what it's called, just in case people missed it.
It'll be as soon as you turn it on. It's on the main menu of the PlayStation now.
Cool. Yes. So my number 3 is staying on the PlayStation Network tip, or PlayStation tip anyway. Is Gravity Rush on PlayStation Vita.
Oh yeah.
It's the game that everybody's been raving about as like the best thing on Vita. I've only played a little bit, relatively. I can't give a final opinion on it. Basically, you play as this girl in this crazy world where she seems to be able to control gravity. So you can move around by shifting gravity and kind of launching yourself at different planes. So as I've said many times on this podcast, I have a lot of problems with spatial awareness and direction. So number 1, this game is very confusing to me. But I think it's going to be very confusing to everybody. But there's a certain appeal to flying through this very nicely detailed world in a unique way. No other game has really allowed you to move around like this. Where I didn't like the game is it has extremely repetitive kind of fluty music, which repetitive music fucking drives me insane. And it has that kind of Japanesey young girl thing going on, which a lot of people find charming. I find it just fucks me off. I mean, I'll be the first to admit, give me the fucking idiots from Gears of War ahead of cutesy Japanese girls. If that makes me a fucking moron, so be it. That's just the way my brain works, you know. I am a fucking meathead idiot. But, yes, I am certainly not, you know, disparaging the game because of personal little things like that, which I have, and I will, when I get time this week, play a hell of a lot more, because it certainly seems like one of the more interesting things to have come out on the handheld so far. And And yeah, have I done a good job of describing it there? Do you know what the game is?
So. Yeah, I've seen little clips and stuff, and yeah, it is interesting to me. Is it only on the Vita, or can you play it on the PS3 as well?
No, it's just Vita.
Okay.
I say it might be, but I'm pretty sure it's just Vita. No, almost definitely.
Okay. Well, I do want to play it because people have been having such a mad fap over it. I just want to see if it's all that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Christian absolutely loved it on Eurogamer. I think he drops a 9 on it. So that is a reason enough for me to know that I need to stick with it and play it a hell of a lot more to form my own opinion of it. When something's just a little bit off-putting at first in terms of how it presents itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt with this game. But I'm like that with a lot of games that people rave about. It's just me being a fucking idiot.
How long have you played it for?
I don't know exactly because I got it at the same time as my number one, which is I'll say in a minute, but maybe just a couple of hours, something like that.
Okay, fair play.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I do want to try it. It's one of those games there's been so much coverage that I just need to see what understand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I'll have much better opinions next week. I'm going to play it this week to play it properly.
Genuine. Okay, my number 3 is FIFA 12.
Right.
I won't say much. I'm just so seduced by the Euro expansion. It's completely rekindled my love for it. I understand that's not going to be the same for everyone. It's because I only follow football when there's a tournament like that. But I had the best game of football that I've ever had the other day online. Just the most thrilling one of the most thrilling games of anything I've ever had, end to end, the whole way through. Me against some guy. He was Portugal, I think, and I was Spain. End to end, non-stop, on the edge of my seat, breathtaking. I conceded 2 penalties, saved them both. It basically went through 2 stages of extra time at 2-2, and I would have learnt a lesson because during the dying, not even the dying seconds, I reckon the dying second, I conceded the losing goal because I knocked the ball back to the striker when I should have cleared it.
Oh no!
I was devastated. I'm not going to learn from that because I'm an idiot. But yeah, I'm loving it. I scored the best goal I've ever scored. The best goal I think I've ever seen. It was just I still can't believe that I did it. When I was playing as England, I was Step Hen Gerrard. I was barely past the halfway mark, the halfway line. Sorry, and I just hoofed it, and it just fucking curled into the top corners. And there was so much adrenaline in my body, I thought I was going to rip the fucking the top of the house off. Yeah. I've never seen anything like it. Never scored a goal like it. But I'm going to keep playing the Euro. It's I love it. Love it.
Yeah. If anybody doesn't understand why football games are so good, especially if they don't like football, I think you've just summed it up there because you don't like football. But
after that game, I felt like watching a football match. I felt like I absolutely had that. I can't even begin to describe how.
Well, that's what the sport does to people who love it.
Yeah. But I felt like I'd been electrocuted. I was just rushing for about half an hour afterwards.
Sweet, yeah. That makes me want FIFA 13 to come out. Is what that does. Yeah. My number 2 is Batman Batman Arkham City, Harley Quinn's Revenge, DLC, the story DLC. It's really short. I did the whole thing. I don't reckon it clocked in much longer than a football match. In fact, about 90 minutes, which is short for 800 points, but it's so nice to be back in that world, and it's a really nicely formed 90 minutes. You play half of it as Robin and half of it as Batman, and Robin handles slightly differently. I didn't do the challenge rooms with him. He's slightly heavier in combat, and you need your timing to be better on the counters and things because he uses a stick, and some of the animations take a little bit longer. And he has a few different little gadgets which allow Rocksteady to do a couple of different puzzles as you move through different styles of puzzles.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just nice to be back playing that game. It's so good. It's such a good game, and it feels like an episode of a Batman Arkham TV show. It's like, it has its own self-contained story, which does completely tie into the end of the story of the game, which I won't spoil for people who haven't finished it or played it. But it's just as well constructed, produced, and written as the game itself. You get a new area, which is an interior area off the edge of Arkham City to look around it, which is kind of warehousey and docksy, which is normally annoying for games, but here it's just it's so detailed and nicely done that I can't complain. And there's a few little Easter eggs which tie into the story, and I'd probably recommend it, to be honest. It was disappointingly short, but what was there was really, really nice, and it's encouraged me to go back to my New Game Plus that I was halfway through on Arkham City and play it properly again. It's just such a good game.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I heard about the DLC, I was desperate to get it, but Arkham City was my favourite game of last year. But I've left it for so long since playing it that I've forgot enough about it. So when the Game of the Year edition comes out with all the DLC on it, I'm going to snap that up like a good one and smash through it again. Fucking hell of a game that. Really, just a masterpiece.
I mean, this DLC is standalone within the game, if that makes sense. So you don't access it while playing the story. It's like a separate menu option. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I look forward to playing that later in the year for sure.
Yeah. Just as long as people know that what they're getting for their 800 points isn't that long, then they probably shouldn't be disappointed. Yeah,
but I mean, quality trumps quantity every time.
Always.
Okay, my number 2 is Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
Cool.
Still absolutely loving it. As I said before, I jumped from this to Max Payne 3. And it was like jumping a console generation. It is not a good-looking game in the slightest. It's also if you're playing on the Xbox and you have Kinect plugged in, fucking unplug it because it keeps hassling you to use the Kinect features, which are appalling.
Right.
There's this you customize your guns and you have to. First of all, it's like stand up and get into the play space. Fuck off! I'm sitting on my couch. You have to sort of. I mean, it doesn't really work. It's kind of. I know it must be hard when Microsoft are waving money and making googly eyes at you that you probably say, okay, right, fuck it, we'll implement Kinect, but they should have stripped it out because it's bollocks. And if you have Kinect plugged in and you open the gun customization menu, it hangs for. It takes, I'd say, in excess of 10-15 seconds to just come up on the screen. Just hangs there empty until there's. I mean, they should have stripped it out. But apart from that, I still think it's a fantastic game. We've been playing Horde, which is really, really interesting. It's very slow paced.
What's it called? Is Guerrilla? Is it called?
Guerrilla, that's right.
Yeah.
It's Horde. You know, there's no dramatic changes. It's just very, very slow paced, very pensive because you die very, very quickly. And we're fucking loving that. We're only about 20 waves in. There's 50 in total, but it's starting to get more and more devious. The guys are, more stuff's coming. It's fucking cool. And multiplayer, I've played it a bit. It's completely and utterly geared towards people who are playing as a team of 5. Because the maps are exclusively just like almost all of them are just a load of bottlenecks. So you have to communicate, you have to spot everybody, you have to make anything half-assed on the multiplayer, you're just dead. If you're communicating, you win. That's it. Hopefully, a few of us are going to go online later in the week and play it a bit more. Really good. I mean, definitely its own thing. I still think it's a fantastic game.
Yeah, it does sound good. Yeah, I need to find time to play it myself. Yeah. It's just one of those ones that I worry might slip by the wayside for me as more stuff comes in. But then again, we're entering a little quiet period now before everything kicks off. Although there's E3 next week, which is going to be crazy. Not that I'm going, but still crazy for anyone working in the industry normally.
Even if you only do the campaign, it's worth it anyway.
Right.
Future Soldier.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. So talking to campaigns, and probably one that's not worth it is Resistance Burning Skies on Vita, which is my number 1 this week. I was really looking forward to playing it just purely because I wanted to see how an FPS could do on a handheld. And as has been said in plenty of reviews, it certainly works from that respect, with the 2 sticks and the triggers. It works. You can do an FPS on a handheld now, and it doesn't feel compromised in terms of control, which was step number 1 that they needed to nail. Unfortunately, this feels like, there's been some really harsh reviews of this game where you've probably seen a 2 out of 10 it got on Destructoid, and I'd hover from what I've played more in sort of the 6 sort of range, I'd say, because I feel like it isn't a patch on a proper console FPS. It feels like something from the previous generation. But what I say to that is like, these games are about budget. Excuse me, like big budget AAA console FPS games are extremely expensive, and people take those risks because the rewards can be huge if the game does really well. This game, the install base is small for starters, and is it going to sell? It has to be a huge concern for the people making it. So the budget is so clearly so much lower than it would be for the big Resistance games on PlayStation 3 that it feels like a much, much cheaper endeavour, which is no good for the guy punting out however much money it costs to play it.
Yeah.
But it has to be taken into consideration a little bit, I think, when you're playing through. It doesn't really excuse the fact that you're essentially walking through boxy corridors with very bland environments. Enemies disappear as soon as you've killed them, and the story's crap. It's quite short. But I still had fun playing it because perhaps it was just the novelty of playing a proper FPS on Vita. It's a tough one. I wouldn't drop more than a 6 on it, I don't think. But I had fun, I guess. The whole time I was going, this is a crap game, but I don't hate it.
I mean, the Resistance games always left me a little bit cold anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they've always been all about the guns, and this still has cool guns. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the rest of it to tie in with that, and it does make the real Resistance games look a lot better.
Yeah,
in comparison. But there's some interesting touchscreen stuff in there that doesn't ruin the game. Like you sort of drag your finger over to throw a grenade, and it slows the whole game down and things like that. It's all right. It's all right. If people go in thinking they're going to get a full blown console style FPS with all the the fucking fireworks that go along with that, they'll be sorely disappointed. But personally, it's not a 2 out of 10 game either for me.
Okay. I do want to see it because it is sort of, it's benchmarks the wrong word, but it's the first significant sort of big an FPS on the Vita. It's what everyone's been waiting for. So I will have a go of it at some point. But yeah, the reviews have been vicious, particularly Destructoid.
Yeah, I mean that really was savage. But yeah, fair enough. I mean, I like Jim Sterling. I think he's good. I think that he's all about, this is my personal opinion, straight down the line. So we do need more people like that, I guess. But I think he might have been a little bit too harsh on this one. But that's his thing.
Yeah, indeed.
He's good in his own way.
Genuine. Okay. Right, okay, my number one's Battlefield 3, which you've already spoken about.
Okay, yeah. You play a lot of batters, don't you?
I do, but I played more than you because I was on the next night, I think. But all I want to say is, we've already mentioned the fan-owned servers, but the worst experience yet was when we were playing. We were in a room, and the guy had put on the blurb when you sort of go in, basically his own rules.
Yeah.
Said no vehicle hogging. What was the other thing he said? He had 2 caveats. One of them was no vehicle hogging. What the fuck does no vehicle hogging mean? If I'm in a vehicle, am I supposed to sort of periodically jump out to see if anyone else wants to jump in? If I'm an engineer, am I not supposed to heal myself? And this all came to a head when, you must remember, I kept saying we've got to take out that chopper. Because there was a chopper just causing absolute carnage and no one was taking it out. So I managed to get into, I forget what the anti-air thing's called, but I got in it.
It said no anti-air, didn't it?
Oh, that's right. No anti-air. Is that what it said?
Yeah, no anti-air.
So basically, the owners of the server are fucking around, killing everybody on the chopper. I hammered them with the anti-air. They almost took me down. I got out, repaired it, and then basically took the chopper down. As soon as I got kicked out of the game.
Yeah.
Booted. You've been booted by the admin. What kind of fucking degenerate is that?
And the worst thing is you get dropped into that if you hit quick match.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's the problem. If you want to go and find your own server or you want to play by your own rules and do that, that's fine. But people who played for an online pass or pay for the full price of the game, they should get, EA Dice Run servers, Xbox Live servers, that play by the set rule set, and you shouldn't get dumped into that shit.
But he wanted to just make sure that he could spend the whole thing in a chopper just killing people.
Yeah.
No anti-air. I mean, what kind of fucking scumbag is that? You can play in my server, but you've got to have one of your hands tied behind your back.
It reminds me of kindergarten and
that's
fucking primary school, or the one below that, whatever the fuck that's called. Going around to someone's house and it's like, you can play with these toys, but only for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
I'm taking them back.
That's
Henry
exactly
Diamond.
what I said. Straight out of the playground.
Henry fucking Diamond at my school. Spoiled little shit. Henry Diamond.
We all had a Henry Diamond, but I'm just overwhelmed. I'm like, that guy, whoever owned that server, if you're listening, at your earliest convenience, go and have relations with your own mother, you fucking little shithead. Done.
Yeah, I bet it was Henry Diamond.
What an attitude. Sorry, it's infuriating because... And then there was one server that we almost jumped into where the guy was like, haha, if we don't like it, we'll boot you, smiley face. Fuck you.
So yeah, fuck them all. that's the end of the episode. Thank you very much for listening. As always, big shout out to Mitch Murder for the theme tune. Go and check his stuff out on SoundCloud. It's really good. Got that kind of 80s synth vibe going on. And big thanks for listening. Check out the website if you want to. It's at thefiniteplaylist.com. Follow us on Twitter, John Denton, Chet Roivas, Chet and Johns. It's all on there. And peace out. We love you all.
Wounds.
Great. It's just great. I pissed all over my hands. He's Sergeant Powers, Tony Rayner, Private First Class. Nice to meet you. Here, have a nice red one on me. Hey, ain't that something, huh? Bet you haven't seen one of those in a while.